More than 1 million Palestinians remain cut off in a war zone, with the UN warning of famine. Now, some have been able to escape the war. Tens of thousands have managed to leave on visas or because they have dual citizenship. In Belgium, DW met some Gazans who have been welcomed by a local hotel owner.
The sound of music instead of the sound of bombs. Here in Brussels, Tarek Toma is far from the life he left behind in Gaza before the war. He hoped to find a better life abroad and bring his family here, but since October 7th, he's barely heard from them and isn't sure if they are alive or dead.
They really wanted me to help them get out, but now I can't because of the ferocity of the war, because crossings are closed or occupied.
Tarek is among 40 displaced Palestinian men that have been offered free bed and board at this Brussels hotel. Most left Gaza through Egypt on Turkish visas. Months on, many feel deeply frustrated with the situation, both at home and here in Belgium.
What do you wish for the future? Do you have any wishes?
Future? Which future? Which future?
Hotel owner Ben Abderram is trying to give his guests some hope, as many attempt lengthy asylum claims. And he's not alone in offering help and donations.
I had some people came here and they give me really some envelopes for the Palestinian people here, really, to be honest with you. I even had the Jewish people came here with envelope. I don't want to say all the names, and they give it to me, said give it to Palestinian people.
Belgium is now prioritizing families seeking shelter. Many single male asylum seekers are ending up on the streets. Non-profits are stepping in to help these men, like this charity offering social, health and psychological support.
From the 7th of October, our work with Palestinians has increased massively. People come for consultations and they're totally defeated and very sad. They've lost their family or they can't reach them.
Tarek hopes the warring parties will stop fighting so he can be reunited with his family.
Violence only leads to more violence, and all parties must stop. The international community has to help us stop this war. Let peace prevail, stop this war, and then negotiate the release of the hostages.
Until then, all he can do is leave a message. He leaves them voicemails every day, even though he's not sure they'll ever be heard.
I would like to welcome Thomas Willekens from Flanders Refugee Action in Brussels. Now, your organization, I understand, helps many Palestinians who have made it to Belgium build new lives there. Can you tell us a little bit what the biggest challenges are that they're facing?
Hi, thank you for having me. The biggest challenge for male Palestinian asylum seekers would be first to get into the shelter system for asylum seekers. As a single man, you are not given access to this reception network on the day of your asylum application. And then the second challenge, once you are in the reception network, is getting a decision. On average, it takes more than a year to get a decision on your asylum claim, even though in the case of people from Gaza, it is quite obvious that they are in need of protection.
Indeed, Palestinians who fled the Gaza Strip do have a pretty good chance of being granted asylum in Belgium. Why do you think it's taking so long to approve their status?
This is simply because we have a lot of pending files also from asylum seekers from other countries. And even though from the outset it is quite clear that Palestinians from Gaza require protection, there is still an individual investigation for every person applying for asylum. And this individual investigation takes time. And that is one of the reasons why it lasts so long. And we can only hope that this backlog will be decreased in the near future.
And can you tell us a little more detail about what it means when these decisions are delayed? What does it look like when it takes, for example, a young man time to get into this system and to find housing?
Well, before getting into housing, you either have the option to survive on the streets if you have no other solution, or you can try and squat a building or live with friends. There are a lot of people in Brussels who sleep in the streets whilst awaiting a decision on their asylum claim. Once you're in the reception network, all you can do is wait until you have that final decision on your asylum claim. And before that decision, your life is put on hold. You can work, but that is it. Apart from that, you have no idea if you can stay in Belgium, and you can also not start the family reunification procedure for family you have living in Gaza, for example, because that is only possible once you receive a positive decision on your asylum claim.
So life really remains in limbo, as you say. In that report, we saw some examples of people in Belgium really helping Palestinian refugees, that hotel owner, for example. When you look at Belgian society more widely, how welcoming would you say people have been?
Difficult to gauge, I would say. Overall, there is sympathy for people from Palestine, of course, simply because it is so obvious that this is a very unfair conflict for Palestinians from Gaza who seek safety. But on the other hand, we do see that the overall support for asylum seekers in general and their reception has been decreasing, even though we saw that there is room for support for people who have to leave their homes in the case of Ukrainians. So it really depends for whom and on what moment. But overall, I would say that there is possibility for support, but that we just need to better grasp this support and to better use the support.
Now, looking ahead, when you speak to refugees who you're helping in Belgium, do they plan to stay in Belgium once the war comes to an end, typically?
I must say that at this point in time, most Palestinians that we meet do not look that far into the future. They are really concerned with the present because a lot of the Palestinians from Gaza still have family members living in Gaza who have to live through bombs falling on their houses. We often meet people whose home has just been destroyed the day before. So they are really concerned with getting their family members out of Gaza, either through family reunification, if they have the possibility to do so, or through other means, like this very infamous travel agency in Egypt that Gazans use to leave the Gaza Strip, which is already very a difficult task, and then obtaining a visa for Belgium is another difficult task. So it's really the focus on today getting your family out, and then they will see what happens next.
Well, thank you so much for speaking with us today on DW. That is Thomas Willekens with Flanders Refugee Action. We very much appreciate your time.
My pleasure.